Having more than one confluence in any winning strategy is a must, but using multiple TradingView indicators on your chart often leads to conflicting signals and unplanned decision-making. Sure, your trading session starts strong, you pick your indicators, mark up your charts, and everything aligns nicely. But as soon as the market opens, or once you're in a trade, price begins to move, and suddenly your indicators no longer agree. Now you're left guessing. Do you trust the RSI signaling to hold your buy, or the moving average telling you to exit now? The multi-source suite, created by TradeMasters Lab, solves this problem by letting you combine up to 6 different indicators, and letting its algorithm do all the decision-making for you. Built with precision, the MSS compiles your selected indicators and unifies them into one clear, rule-based trading system. It has 2 core components. First, a visual verification indicator at the bottom of your chart that shows all your selected indicators working together. Second, a fully automated strategy overlay that marks your entry points, stop loss, and take profit levels with algorithmic precision. The true power of MSS lies in its flexibility, allowing you to test different combinations of indicators, run strategies through years of historical data, and uncover strong statistical edges, all in one place. In this short tutorial, we will cover how to apply the multi-source suite. Then we will deep dive into the settings. And finally, I will show you how to use it effectively. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete understanding of how to use the multi-source suite to its full potential. Now let's get into it. Now, let's run through how to apply the multi-source suite. If you've already purchased the software, you can skip the first part of this section. First, let's head over to the TradeMasters Lab website. Here, you'll find lots of useful information and a contact form in case you have any queries. You can reach out to the team directly here. Now, we'll go to Start Trading Smarter. You'll see 2 payment options here, monthly or yearly. The yearly plan effectively gives you 2 free months compared to paying monthly. For now, I'm going to select the monthly option. You'll then be directed to this page, where you'll need to enter your TradingView username. Your TradingView username can be found next to your profile picture, just like in the image above. This step is important, as it's how you'll be granted access to the software. Enter your email, hit Proceed to check out, and complete your purchase. Now that we have access to the multi-source suite, we need to head over to TradingView to apply it to our charts. Again, you can find your username by clicking on your profile in the top left. But if we come over to Indicators and click on Invite Only, you'll now see your 2 components, Multi-Source Indicator V8 and Multi-Source Strategy V8. I'm going to add them both to my chart. The indicator will appear at the bottom of your chart, and the strategy will appear in the top left. So now we have the full MS suite plugged into our charts. In the next section, we'll dive into the settings to make sure everything's set up correctly and the software is functioning as it should. The very first thing I want to do, once I have both the MSS strategy and indicator on my charts, is to add some more indicators onto the chart. Because in order to get any indicators working within the multi-source suite, we need to add them to the chart first. Remember, we can add up to 6 indicators, but for this demonstration, and to keep things simple, I will add 3 indicators. First, I will add a super trend, but because this indicator will be needed to execute 2 separate conditions, one for buys and the other for sells. This indicator will need to be applied twice to the MSS so that our buy-sell conditions do not conflict with each other. Let's also add a LSMA. Overlay indicators like the super trend will appear over your chart. See how I can toggle it on and off? Oscillators are indicators that appear underneath your chart. Now, let's build our strategy. I'm going to start with our strategy settings. You could also start setting up the indicator first instead to give you a visual demonstration of how the indicators are performing when they're combined together. Let's focus on the source settings. We can place up to 6 indicators in the source column. So let's add our 2 super trend indicators and the LSMA. In the next column, we can enter our buy conditions. Let's add this one, which will trigger a buy trade if price is above 0.9. This can be seen visually on the MS indicator, which we will cover shortly. And in the last column, we'll give our MSS a sell condition. Let's give it the same as the buy for simplicity. So notice that our super trend buy indicator in source 1 only has a buy condition and the sell remains off. And in source 2, the super trend sell only has a sell condition. You will need to treat any buy-sell indicator as 2 separate indicators in the multi-source suite, unless your strategy only takes trades on one side. Let's also add two conditions to our LSMA. The buy condition will be above 0 and sell below 0. So we have our first column, which is where we install our indicators. We need all buy conditions in this column to be true for a buy trade to be triggered. Or we need all sell conditions in the sell column to be true for a sell trade to trigger. And this is a basic example of how to apply buy-sell logic to the strategy settings. For now, we will leave the exit settings as they are, and our stop loss and take profit will be determined as percentages. 2% stop loss and 4% take profit. Let's disable break-even, and that's it. So, all we have to do next to visually see this strategy in action is input the same three indicators inside the MSS indicator settings. But before we do that, let's quickly go into properties. I'm going to put $10,000 as my initial capital. Keep default currency, 1 lot order size, and 0.02% commission. This reflects the broker fee, and it will give us more accurate results. I'm also going to turn on every tick so that the algorithm will continuously update our conditions on every tick. Leave everything else, and open the multi-source indicator settings. As you can see, these settings are identical to the strategy settings, and because we only want to visually see when the actual logics are being triggered by the MS strategy, we only need to apply the same three indicators into sources: Super Trend Buy, Super Trend Sell, and LSMA. And that's it. We are done setting up both components. We have our strategy and our indicator set. In this final section, I'm going to show you just how powerful this tool can be and the real difference it can make to your trading results. Let's keep the strategy settings on screen. In order to make sure our trades are being taken exactly as they should, based on the parameters we gave to the strategy, we can refer to the MS indicator, which shows us our Super Trend Buy, Super Trend Sell, and LSMA signals. The MS indicator has a 0.9 dash line at the top, a negative 0.9 dash line at the bottom, and a 0 line in the middle. We've put together all the examples you'll need to understand what each expression looks like when applying your strategy rules. Above midline 0, below midline 0, not overbought, not oversold, and so on. I recommend taking a screenshot of this so you can refer back to it whenever needed. In our current setup, we're using above 0.9 for both buy and sell signals, and above midline 0, below midline 0 for our LSMA. Here, the super trend indicator, working on its own, is signaling a buy trade. And we can also see this reflected in the multi-source indicator, represented by the vertical green pin plotted above the 0.9 line. But remember, we also have the LSMA, the yellow signal inside the MS indicator, which needs to meet our condition of being above 0. In this case, it is. Let's hide this and show our multi-source strategy. The yellow LSMA line is clearly sitting above the midline 0, so the multi-source suite confirms and takes the buy trade. So, in this example, we're able to take the trade with even more confidence because the multi-source suite had two indicators working together to validate the setup. This next example shows how the MSS adds an extra layer of protection when not all conditions align, preventing us from taking unnecessary trades. Here, the super trend indicator, working independently, is signaling a sell trade, which would have resulted in a loss. But with our strategy, we can see this inside our MS indicator, where a red vertical pin is peaking above the 0.9 line. However, the LSMA indicator, again shown as the yellow line inside the MS indicator, does not confirm. It's not below the 0 line, which is required for a sell trade. Because both conditions weren't met, the multi-source suite did not trigger the trade, and in this case, that worked in our favor. Even though the suite gives you the option to add up to 6 indicators, we've found, after vigorous testing, that our most profitable strategies usually only combine 2 to 3 indicators. As the saying goes, less is more. Here are a few examples of different setups that have been tried and tested using TradingView's backtester. This trader uses an ATR along with a custom SMA indicator. Look at these results. These results come from a strategy that requires 4 indicators, all contained within the multi-source indicator, while the MS strategy executes in the background. By now, you should have a complete understanding of what the multi-source suite is and how to use it. This advanced trading toolkit can truly enhance your trading experience by eliminating emotion from your trades and allowing the multi-source suite to fully automate the process. Every example in this video is just for demonstrational purposes. It's not financial advice or a promise of profits. The goal is to help you build your own proven setup using the multi-source suite. If you would like to learn more or gain access, go to trademasterslab.com. This concludes the tutorial. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best in your trading.